In the gleaming halls of the Global Xenobiology Research Center, tension crackled like static electricity. Jay Park stood near the holographic display, his hands steady, eyes focused on the alien delegation seated before him. Professor Kira Vex, a being from a distant star system, looked distinctly uncomfortable in the human-designed conference room. The room's temperature-controlled environment felt artificially calm, a stark contrast to the anticipation building within its walls. Alien delegates from 3 different star systems had traveled millions of light-years to understand humanity's unique approach to biological sciences. Jay noticed how Kira's skin shifted colors, a biological response he knew indicated emotional fluctuation. Her species typically displayed emotions through subtle chromatic changes, something humans found both fascinating and slightly unsettling. Today, her skin moved between soft blues and nervous greens. "Welcome to Earth," Jay began, his voice calm and professional. "We're excited to share our understanding of planetary biodiversity." The alien delegates adjusted their translation devices. Lauren Bright, the junior diplomatic representative, leaned forward with an expression of cautious curiosity. Humans were still a relatively new species in the galactic community, and their reputation was complicated. Jay activated the first holographic display. Images of Earth's most extraordinary ecosystems began to materialize. Dense rainforests, Arctic tundras, scorching deserts. Each environment seemed to pulse with an almost living energy. "Our planet," Jay explained, "is not just a location. It's a complex system of survival." Kira's skin flickered between deep purple and light green, a combination her species typically associated with intense intellectual processing. She had studied human reports, read countless academic papers, but nothing prepared her for the actual presentation. The room's subtle lighting caught the edges of the holographic projections, making Earth's landscape seem almost 3-dimensional. Alien delegates shifted in their seats, some leaning closer, others maintaining a cautious distance. Hana Kim, standing quietly beside Jay, carried a small device that would complement the presentation. Her calm demeanor contrasted with the electric anticipation filling the room. She knew what was coming, a demonstration that would challenge everything these alien researchers believed about planetary life. Jay continued his introduction, selecting words carefully. He understood this wasn't just a scientific presentation. It was humanity's first comprehensive attempt to showcase their planet's unique characteristics to an interstellar audience. The holographic display shifted, showing microscopic ecosystems, extreme environments where life seemingly shouldn't exist, thermal vents deep in ocean trenches, bacteria surviving in nuclear radiation, plants growing in seemingly impossible conditions. "Adaptation," Jay said simply, "is our planet's true language." Lauren Bright's translator hummed softly, converting Jay's words into complex linguistic structures comprehensible to the alien delegation. Each word carried weight, each description a potential revelation. Outside the conference room, advanced monitoring systems tracked every minute physiological response from the alien delegates. Anthropologists, linguists, and xenobiologists watched through one-way screens, their own excitement barely contained. Kira's skin was now a swirling mixture of colors, blues, greens, and occasional flashes of what seemed like burgundy. Her species' equivalent of intense emotional and intellectual engagement was on full display. The presentation had barely begun, but already something fundamental was shifting. These alien researchers had come expecting to teach, to demonstrate their advanced scientific understanding. Instead, they were about to learn that humanity's approach to life was fundamentally different from anything they had encountered. Jay paused, allowing a moment of anticipation to build. He knew the next segment of his presentation would challenge everything these alien researchers understood about planetary life, survival, and the very concept of biological adaptation. The holographic display flickered, ready to reveal Earth's first true surprise. "Would you like me to continue with the next part or elaborate on this section?" A.J. Park's presentation began to showcase Earth's most extreme creatures, each image more shocking than the last. First appeared the honey badger, a small mammal that seemed disproportionately fearless. Kira Vex's skin turned a deep shade of gray, indicating pure confusion. The creature, barely the size of a house cat, looked like it could challenge creatures 10 times its size without hesitation. This animal, Jay explained, fears nothing. Lauren Bright's translation device struggled to capture the complexity of the creature's behavior. How could something so small demonstrate such incredible courage? The honey badger's reputation preceded. Those reports of confrontations with lions, venomous snakes, and even large predators were documented across Earth's scientific records. Hana Kim stepped forward, her fingers dancing across a holographic control panel. The image shifted, revealing a Komodo dragon, a reptile that looked like a living nightmare. Its massive body, covered in scales, represented a predator that hadn't changed much since prehistoric times. Venomous bite. Incredibly intelligent. Hunting strategy, Jay mentioned casually, as if discussing something as mundane as weather. The alien delegation's physiological responses became more dramatic. Monitoring devices showed increased heart rates, respiratory changes, and neurological activity. They were witnessing something unprecedented, a planet where survival wasn't just about size or technological advancement, but pure evolutionary adaptability. Australian wildlife came next. A cassowary, a bird that looked more like a prehistoric creature than a modern animal, appeared on the screen. Its dagger-like claws, powerful legs, and prehistoric appearance made it look like a living weapon. Considered the world's most dangerous bird, Hana commented, her voice neutral. Kira's skin now resembled a complex painting of blues and greens, representing a mix of fear, respect, and total bewilderment. These creatures weren't just animals. They were living survival machines. The presentation continued. Box jellyfish with their incredibly potent venom. Platypus, a mammal that seemed to break every biological rule. Tasmanian devils with their incredible bite force. Each creature represented a different approach to survival that defied conventional understanding. Lauren Bright's diplomatic training began to crumble. These weren't just animals. They were living proof of a planet's incredible capacity for producing life that could survive under the most extreme conditions. Jay understood the psychological impact of the presentation. Each image, each description, was carefully chosen to challenge the alien delegation's understanding of biological systems. Humans weren't just presenting scientific data. They were telling a story of survival, adaptation, and relentless evolutionary progress. The room's temperature seemed to drop slightly. Whether it was an actual environmental change or just the psychological impact of the presentation remained unclear. The alien researchers looked simultaneously terrified and fascinated. "Our planet doesn't just produce life," Jay said softly. "It produces survivors." A highlight reel of Earth's most extreme environments began playing. Deserts where temperatures could kill in minutes. Arctic regions where survival seemed mathematically impossible. Deep-sea environments with pressure that would crush most known life forms. And yet, life persisted. Not just persisted. It thrived. Kira Vex's skin was now a complex tapestry of colors, representing an emotional and intellectual response that her species had never publicly displayed before. These humans weren't just presenting scientific information. They were revealing a fundamental truth about planetary life. The presentation's final image showed a simple landscape, a forest, a mountain, a small stream, seemingly ordinary. But now, after everything they had seen, it looked like a battlefield of continuous survival. Lauren Bright's translator finally stopped trying to convert some of the more complex descriptions. Some concepts, it seemed, were beyond direct translation. J. Park smiled. The first part of their demonstration was complete, and the aliens had no idea what was coming next. "Would you like me to continue with the next part, or elaborate on this section?" A large glass enclosure stood at the center of the room. Inside, multiple habitats were carefully constructed, each representing a different ecosystem and containing potentially dangerous creatures. The alien researchers gripped their observation consoles, their skin turning various shades of nervous, gray and pale blue. A handler named Minwoo entered, carrying what appeared to be a container with a dark, coiled shape inside. Kira Vex's respiratory system seemed to pause momentarily. Lauren Bright's translation device began rapidly processing potential threat scenarios. The container opened. A king cobra, nearly 3 meters long, emerged with deliberate, calculated movements. The snake's hood expanded, its body moving with a precision that suggested intelligence beyond simple reptilian behavior. Minwoo moved with an impossible calm. He positioned himself mere meters from the deadly serpent, his movements slow and controlled. The cobra tracked his movements, a living weapon of evolutionary perfection. Naja Kauthia, Jay explained. The monocled cobra, one of the world's most venomous snakes. The alien delegation's monitoring devices went into overdrive. Physiological readings showed extreme stress responses. How could humans stand so close to such a lethal creature? The snake could deliver enough venom to kill dozens of large mammals with a single bite. Minwoo began a demonstration of snake handling that defied everything the aliens understood about survival. He moved a specialized hook, guiding the cobra's movements with a skill that suggested years of intimate understanding. The snake responded not as a wild animal, but almost like a trained partner. Nearby, another habitat contained a small Tasmanian devil. Despite its small size, the creature moved with a ferocity that seemed impossible. Its jaw muscles demonstrated impossible strength, capable of crushing bone with ease. Lauren Bright's diplomatic training began to crack. These weren't just animals. They were living weapons, and humans treated them with a casual respect that bordered on partnership. A separate enclosure revealed a honey badger, a creature so fearless that it had become legendary among Earth's wildlife researchers. The small mammal moved with a confidence that suggested it feared nothing in its environment. Observe, Jay said quietly, not just the animals, but how they interact with their environment. The cobra handler continued his demonstration, showing how years of study and respect allowed humans to navigate even the most dangerous creatures. Minwoo's movements were a dance of calculated precision, a human perfectly adapted to understanding predatory behavior. Kira Vex's skin began changing colors rapidly, a sign of extreme cognitive dissonance. These humans weren't just scientists. They were something else entirely. Masters of a world that seemed designed to kill anything that wasn't absolutely perfect. The demonstration continued. Each creature showed not just survival capabilities, but an almost intelligent approach to its environment. The cobra's precise movements, the Tasmanian devil's calculated aggression, the honey badger's complete lack of fear. Lauren Bright's translation device began to malfunction, unable to process the complex interactions happening before its sensors. This wasn't just a scientific demonstration, it was a revelation about planetary life. As the presentation concluded, the alien delegation sat in complete silence. Their understanding of biological systems, of survival, of intelligent life, everything, had been fundamentally challenged. J. Park smiled slightly. The first part of their demonstration was complete, and the aliens had no idea what was coming next. Would you like me to continue with the next part, or elaborate on this section? They're not just survivors, Lauren Bright whispered. They're something else entirely. The room's temperature seemed to drop. Each alien researcher processed the demonstration differently, but the conclusion was universal. Humans were fundamentally different from any species they had encountered in the galaxy. Kira's analysis report lay half-completed on the digital interface. Her usual precise handwriting now looked fragmented, almost chaotic. The demonstration had shattered everything she understood about biological adaptation. Those creatures, muttered Dr. Wren, the oldest researcher in the delegation. They don't just survive, they dominate. The walls of the conference room seemed to close in. Each alien felt a growing sense of understanding that was both terrifying and profound. Humans weren't just another species. They were masters of a living, breathing ecosystem that defied conventional scientific understanding. Loren began reviewing the video recordings. The honey badger's fearlessness, the cobra handler's impossible calm, the Tasmanian devil's raw power. Each replay revealed new layers of complexity. Our initial reports were completely wrong, Dr. Wren continued. His skin flickered between deep purple and pale green, a color combination indicating extreme intellectual conflict. The psychological impact went beyond simple scientific observation. These aliens were experiencing a fundamental reimagining of what intelligent life could represent. Humans weren't just another species to be categorized and studied. They were something more. Outside the conference room, human researchers watched through one-way glass. Jay Park and Hana Kim observed the alien delegation's breakdown with professional detachment. They had seen this reaction before. Kira Vex's hand touched the holographic display. The images of Earth's most dangerous creatures replayed, each movement, each interaction telling a story of survival that seemed impossible. How do they live like this, she muttered. How do they coexist with such dangerous environments? The question hung in the air, unanswered but profound. Loren Bright's diplomatic training began to crumble. The report he would send back to their home planet would change everything. Humanity would no longer be seen as a young, inexperienced species. They were something else entirely. Dr. Wren began making notes. His recording device captured fragments of thoughts: adaptive superiority, evolutionary mastery, unexpected biological complexity. The room continued to buzz with nervous energy. Each alien researcher processed the demonstration differently, but the core understanding remained the same. Humans were not just another species in the galactic community. They were something unprecedented. Kira's skin continued to shift, a living display of psychological turmoil. Blues merged with greens, occasional flashes of red indicating pure emotional intensity. They don't fear, Loren whispered, more to himself than anyone else. They understand. The demonstration had been more than a scientific presentation. It was a declaration, a statement about humanity's place in the universe. Not as newcomers, but as masters of a world that seemed designed to kill anything less than perfect. Dr. Wren looked up, his ancient eyes reflecting a mixture of terror and profound respect. We've been wrong about them, he said quietly. Completely and totally wrong. The conference room remained silent, filled with the weight of a new understanding. Humanity was not what they had believed. They were something else entirely. Would you like me to continue with the next part or elaborate on this section? Kira Vex stood at the center, her skin displaying a complex mosaic of colors that scientists would debate for generations. Her presentation wasn't just a report, it was a fundamental reassessment of humanity's place in the universe. Humans are not what we believed, she began, her voice steady but laden with significance. Holographic images flickered. Honey badgers wrestling predators, humans handling venomous creatures, ecosystems that defied conventional understanding. Each image was a testament to a species that didn't just survive, but thrived in conditions that would destroy most intelligent life. The council representatives leaned forward. Some looked terrified, others looked fascinated, a few looked both. They don't just adapt, Kira continued. They transform their entire environment. Diplomatic channels across multiple star systems began buzzing with urgent communications. The implications were massive. Humanity wasn't just another species to be categorized or potentially conquered. They were something unprecedented. Dr. Wren's research data played alongside Kira's presentation. Graphs showed humanity's rapid technological progress, their biological adaptability, their uncanny ability to survive and excel in impossible conditions. A representative from the Andromeda cluster raised a questioning tentacle. Are you suggesting they're a threat? Kira's response was calculated. They're not a threat. They're a complete redefinition of intelligent life. The chamber erupted into multiple languages, translation devices working overtime to capture the nuanced discussions. Humanity had just been transformed from a curiosity to a species that demanded serious, respectful consideration. Loren Bright watched silently. His diplomatic training had prepared him for many scenarios, but not for this. How do you explain a species that treats deadly creatures like partners? A civilization that sees extreme environments not as challenges, but as opportunities. The holographic displays continued cycling through images. A human researcher casually handling a king cobra. A small mammal challenging creatures 10 times its size. Ecosystems that seem designed to kill yet teeming with life. They don't just survive, Dr. Wren's recorded voice repeated. They understand. Galactic trade routes, diplomatic protocols, research exchanges, everything would need reevaluation. Humanity was no longer a young, developing species. They were masters of a living, breathing planetary system that defied conventional understanding. The Council's senior members began emergency consultations. Communication protocols needed immediate revision. How do you approach a species that sees danger not as a threat but as a challenge to be understood? Kira's final slide showed something simple: a human forest, a mountain stream, a landscape that now looked like a battlefield of continuous survival. But now, after everything they had learned, it looked like something else entirely. A testament to life's incredible, unexpected potential. The Galactic Council would debate this presentation for weeks, months, perhaps years. But one thing was certain. Humanity had just changed everything they understood about intelligent life. They were not just another species. They were something else entirely. Would you like me to elaborate on any part of this section or provide additional details about the story?